NFC, speaking of young quarterbacks, Jayden Daniels, Dan Quinn, and the Commanders had a hell of a season this first year together, finishing with the best record since 1991. They went 12-5, making it to the NFC title game. That was insane. Austin Eckler is expecting more growth from the young quarterback as he enters his second year.
He crushed it last year. What I've seen from him going into this year, we have the same offensive coordinator, and so bringing that into the mix has now made it so now when we go through OTAs, Jay's already on it. You can tell there's that growth. He's starting to get more comfortable, which allows him to even play mentally faster and make better decisions. We're going to be looking like a powerhouse out there.
He is, I always thought Andrew Luck, all things considered, had the best rookie season I'd ever seen. I thought Jayden Daniels was better. And I think he had a better roster than Andrew Luck did, but he didn't make the Andrew Luck mistakes. I thought he would be good. I said before he got drafted, he's Lamar, but better in the pocket. I did not think he would be this good in late game situations. I knew he would run away from people. I knew he was good in the pocket. His ability, 2-minute drill, late in quarters, late in games, I'll say it again, not even Elway did this. I've never seen a rookie quarterback this cognitively aware, this poised, and this accurate. Burrow wasn't this good first year. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, to me, poise is something that you gain as your career goes because of experience. He had it so early. They did get to sneak up on people last year.
They did.
People were not expecting them. If you think about the Lions a couple years ago, got to sneak up. For the last couple years, the Lions have been most teams' biggest game on a weekly basis. That's going to be the case. You add Tunzel, you add Debo. I think the one thing they really have going for him, Dan Quinn's been around the block. He's a veteran head coach. Adam Peters has added a lot of talent, but it's hard not to bet on this. I mean, if he was a stock, you would just continue to buy more stock of Jayden Daniels. But they do have the Eagles in the division. The Lions are going to be healthy. The Packers, we know the Rams are good. Like the NFC might not have the quarterback elite star power that the AFC does, but the teams are good.
Yeah, and I think the thing that really impressed me about Jayden Daniels, now you know this means a lot to me. It doesn't mean a lot to everybody else. But one of the first things that blew me away with Jalen Hurts was how good he was at the podium.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, and this was the thing I crushed Baker Mayfield for, which he's gotten much better at. Baker was starting fires. Jalen puts them out. And that Wednesday presser is sort of the, okay, now you're getting injury reports. Now there's one of your players. Jayden Daniels is so good in terms of media, because Washington, D.C.'s media is aggressive. This is a Northeast media. Feisty, talk radio is very big. Fires start about every 5 days. The kid is so adult. He is so mature. I remember watching last year, and if you didn't know, you'd be like, is this his 9th or his 10th year in the league?
Remember that video when he transferred from Arizona State and all the kids in the locker room were like throwing his stuff in the trash? And it was like, what's going on here? And then a couple years later, seems like Arizona State screwed that one up. And Brian Kelly at LSU got it right. But yeah, incredible season. Okay.
Yeah. This is why I keep saying it. It's so funny to me. And I made a video about this literally the other day. I actually find it funny that it triggers people that when you say an elite game manager, because people wrongly misunderstand what that actually means, and they say it's if you're a game manager, it means you can't do anything else, or it's because you're kind of limited. It's like, no, it's not. It's how to manage the game. You have to be able to manage a game. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, all these quarterbacks, you have to manage the game. You have to make the right decisions at the right time. And so many young quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks, they can't manage the game. They struggle to manage the game. They can show that they have some game-breaking abilities and game-changing abilities. I mean, even Caleb Williams, who did not have a great season, still showed us some moments when you're like, oh, that's what it is to be the #1 pick. I remember very vividly, even John Middlecoff and Colin Cowherd, when they have their podcast during the week, during the season, they pointed out, you're looking for things as to why he should have been the #1 overall pick. And then it was against the Minnesota Vikings or whoever, and you're like, I saw that, now you can see why. And we always associate that with why being it. And we think backup quarterbacks, well, they could just manage games, but they're not good enough to be like game changers, and you need game changers. It's like, We have it backwards. We have it twisted in a lot of ways. And so what made Jayden Daniels so special, and they keep saying things like poise, and it's like that's part of it, but it was his elite game management as well as his elite game changing, breaking abilities. So it was really two heads here that you got to see in every game, essentially. In every game. And so you didn't really see the level of mistakes and bad plays that you see with a lot of these young quarterbacks. And actually a perfect example of this is actually when he did make mistakes and he didn't manage the game. Now he ended up winning because of his game-breaking abilities. It was against the Philadelphia Eagles, the second game, and he made a couple really bad decisions and especially this one interception was just straight up awful. There's no cookie cutter about it. It was just a bad moment for him. And the reality is like he minimizes those moments. And with rookie quarterbacks, first, second year quarterbacks, we're forgiving of those moments. Especially when you show other spectacular moments where you're running around and scrambling and, doing all the nice, fun, fancy stuff. A huge throw to, Terry McLaurin against the Bengals, on 3rd and long or whatever. It's like, that's what it means to be a great quarterback. But what it also means to be a great quarterback is to not throw that interception in that important moment of the game. And quite frankly, they should have lost that game. If Devontae catches that ball, game over. And you could have said, I wouldn't have said this, but you could have said, Jayden Daniels blew it. But it would have been a lot more forgiving, obviously, being a rookie quarterback. But so when I talk about game management, that's a part of it. And so he doesn't have that to a collection on his resume in terms of making all of those mistakes. So when we talk about poise, a lot of times when people talk about poise, they talk about poise like, you're down by 6, something random. You're down by 6. And 4 minutes to go and you have no run game and it's just like, what do you do? And it'd be like, that's poise. Look how calm he is in the pocket and look at how he does this and that. It's like, yeah, that's poise as well. That's for sure poise. But there's also poise when you're up by a random score, 12. You're up by 12 and it's 8 minutes to go in the third quarter and you were up by 19. And the opposing team just scored a touchdown, and now it's 3rd and 12. Okay, it's 3rd and 12. You have the lead. You're up by 12, and it's 3rd and 12, and you're on your own 38, and you got a quarter and a half left to go. It's like, what do you do in that situation? Do you try to be a hero? Do you try to do something crazy? Do you take an do you now try to scramble much, and now you take a really bad sack, and now you're punting the ball, and now the opposing team's going to have great field position, and in a blink of the eye, they now score, and now it's a 1-score game just like that. It's like, that's how games get away from you. That's how games get away from you. And it's like, and what type of play do you make in that 3rd and 12? Do you make a nice, simple, beautiful throw that moves the chains, or just keeps the clock going and also keeps some positive momentum, but yet you're still punting it, and now you're able to punt the ball and put it in the inside the 10. It's just like all of these things matter. And consistently, Jayden Daniels didn't hurt his team in that regard. He didn't make that like, no, man, you can't take a sack right there. Dude, now it's 4th and 20 and you're punting at your own 20. It's just like he didn't do that. He didn't have those mistakes. He didn't have a fumble, have an interception, right? Like he didn't, so when I talk about being an elite game manager, those things matter. Those things matter massively. You can't win Super Bowls without it, quite frankly. You just can't. You certainly, maybe you can win a Super Bowl, but you can't be an all-time great. You just can't. And so it's like, that's what also Jayden Daniels brought. And we can talk about all of the electric plays and the come from behind wins and all this. And I talked about that. It was plenty. But it's like, I want to emphasize the other head of this dragon here. Because it's like, that is also what makes this guy so much more sustainable. It's why I said, if you took away his big play abilities and his his legs and mobility, he would still be a top quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's why it matters so much. That's why it matters so much. I can't necessarily say that about Lamar Jackson. Now, because of everything that Lamar Jackson has to bring, he's clearly elite. He's clearly special. He's also like an all-time special talent. But if you took away some of his mobility, and it's not to say that he's not a great passer. Like, don't get it twisted. We're not looking at these things like individually. We're looking at them collectively. I would say that Jayden Daniels managed games more successfully and better than Lamar Jackson has, than many other quarterbacks have. I just picked Lamar Jackson out because he's obviously another freak mobile, quarterback. Which is why when anyone ever kept saying, oh, Jayden Daniels is like the Lamar Jackson of blah, blah, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's the Jayden Daniels of Jayden Daniels. Like, that's the difference here. So, yeah. Jayden Daniels. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Washington Commanders and Jayden Daniels? Do you think that they're going to be a powerhouse? I do admit I don't like that Austin Eckler said that. I'm never a fan of saying those things. Say that in the locker room. Say that, in the meeting. Say that on practice field. Say that any other time. Saying that to the media that you're going to be a powerhouse. I'm like, nah, just don't say that. But that's just me. That's my own personality. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.